Rusak, Shannan's mother. I wanted to say thank you for this moment. I want to take a moment to thank everyone who has prayed for our beloved family, who has sent gifts, cards to us from all over the world. I know God will put the evil people where they need to be. I also want to take the time to thank the town of Frederick, Greeley, FBI, the DA's office, the CBI, for exceptional work. We thank Nicole Atkinson, Shannan's neighbor, Nathan, and his family. To me, they're our heroes. They really are. God bless. God makes no mistakes on who he puts in your life. Marriage is about love, trust, and friendship and unity. We marry for sickness and health, to death do us part. Our daughter Shannan loved you with all of her heart. Your children loved you to the moon and back. Shannan's family was her world. Shannan put a crown on your head. But unfortunately, the day that you took their life, God removed that crown. We loved you like a son. We trusted you. Your faithful wife trusted you. Your children adored you, and they also trusted you. Your daughter Bella Marie sang a song proudly. I don't know if you got to see it, but it was, Daddy, you're my hero. I have no idea who gave you the right to take their lives. But I know God and his mighty angels were there at that moment to bring them home to paradise. God gives us free will. So not only did you take the family of four, your family of four, you took your own life. I want the world to know that our daughter and her children were so loved by us. They will always be protected by God and his mighty angels. I didn't want death for you because that's not my right. Your life is between you and God now, and I pray that he has mercy for you. From Shannan's mother, Bella Marie, Celeste Catherine, and Nico Lee's Nana. Thank you, Your Honor.
The house on Saratoga Trail stood silent under the harsh Colorado sun, its doors unlocked, its rooms untouched, and its emptiness louder than any scream. Inside, there were no signs of a struggle, no broken furniture, no blood, no chaos. And yet, 3 lives had vanished into that stillness. In the early hours of August 13, 2018, before bodies were found, before confessions were spoken, before the world learned the name Chris Watts, something far more unsettling was already unfolding. A man stood at the center of a missing family case, calm, cooperative, and disturbingly composed. From a forensic psychology perspective, the most chilling part of this case begins not with what was discovered later, but with what was visible immediately. The absence of panic, the lack of urgency, the controlled demeanor of a husband whose pregnant wife and 2 young daughters had seemingly disappeared without a trace. In situations like this, behavioral baselines matter. Shock has patterns. Grief has rhythms. Fear leaves fingerprints on posture, speech, and decision-making. And Chris Watts, even before law enforcement turned suspicious, was already deviating from those patterns.
What's going on right now around your house?
Right now it's, you got K9 units, the sheriff's department, everybody's like, they're doing their best right now to figure out like if they can get a scent, see where they went. If they went on foot, they went in a car, or they went somewhere. And right now it's just like they've been on point. They're going through the house trying to get a scent, and hopefully they can pick something up to where it's going to lead to something.
What happened? Your wife came home. Tell me what's.
She came home from the airport 2 a.m. and I left around 5:15. She was still here, and like about 12:10 in that afternoon, her friend Nicole showed up at the door. Like I had texted Shanann a few times that day, called her, say, but she never got back to me, but she wasn't getting back to any of her people as well. And that's what really concerned a lot of people, is like, if she's not getting back to her, like if she doesn't get back to me, that's fine, like she gets busy during the day, but she didn't get back to her people, which was very concerning. And Nicole called me when she was at the door, and that's when I came home. and then walked in the house and nothing was vanished. Nothing was here. I mean, she wasn't here. The kids weren't here. Nope, nobody was here.
What's your wife's name?
Shanann, Shanann.
What's your kids' name?
Bella and Celeste.
How do you spell Celeste?
Celeste.
How old are your daughters?
4, Bella's 4, Celeste is 3.
And so, how many times did you try calling her?
I called her 3 times, texted her about 3 times just to say, you know, what's going on. Like because after I called her and texted her once, it's like maybe she was just busy. Like she had just gotten back, you know, like everybody's probably calling her from her trip. She just got back from Arizona, and I figured she was just busy. But when her friend showed up, that's what it was like. It registered like, all right, this isn't right.
Do you think she just took off? Do you think?
I mean, right now I don't even want to just like throw anything out there. Like, I hope that she's somewhere safe.
This story is not about hindsight. It is about what was observable in real time. The subtle emotional disconnect, the mechanical compliance, the way concern appeared rehearsed rather than instinctive. Forensic psychologists later noted that his behavior aligned less with a frantic searcher and more with someone managing perception. Someone performing stability instead of experiencing loss.
Last summer, on August 13, 2018, my daughter Shanann Watts and her children were murdered. They were killed by Shannon's husband and the children's father, Chris Watts. I can't possibly describe how painful the last 11 months have been for myself, my wife, and my son Frankie Jr. And for everyone else who cares so much about Shanann and her children. Just dealing with this type of tragedy is more than a family should bear. But I am making a statement today because for the past 11 months, piled on top of pain and the grieving of this devastating loss, our family has been subject to horribly. Cruelly abused, outright bullying, and on a daily basis. I don't want to draw more attention to the viral material that has been posted online. And so I don't want to go into specifics. But I will say that our family, including Shanann and her children and our grandchildren, have been ridiculed, demeaned, slandered, mocked in the most vicious ways you can imagine. We have been subject to false accusations, fake Facebook accounts, hate speeches, and constant stream of ugly, evil insults and attacks. Every time we turn around, there is someone trying to capitalize on our tragedy. By spreading false rumors and outright lies about Shanann and our grandchildren. We have been subject to threats on our lives, all because we are victims in painful tragedy. This is so wrong. It is cruel, it is heartless, it is flat wrong. It breaks my heart to know that we are not the first family to have to live through this kind of tragedy. And we won't be the last. Families like ours should have the right to be safe and the right, a basic level of privacy, the right to mourn in peace. And it boils my blood that my family and other families are dealing with worse imaginable tragedy, have to deal with this kind of cruelty and bullying. It needs to stop. To Congress, or to any position in power, we are calling on you to do something to pass laws that will protect victims of unspeakable crimes from this kind of abuse. Our online social media sites like Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter, we have contacted you many times, reported this abuse, but no avail. We are calling on you again to do the right thing, to take some responsibility for your platforms and stop this despicable conduct. To the people who feel they are entitled to profit off our loss, we urge you, please stop. And for the people who are interested in this case, who feel compelled to comment and discuss, please stick to the truth. It is painful enough for us to just dealing with the reality. Reading the insane conspiracy theories, ugly false rumors, and lies only make it more painful. Finally, to the people who have stood with us, who have supported us and prayed for us and our family. For Shannon and her grandchildren, we can't thank you enough. God bless you all, and thank you for your time. Thank you.
Hey, Frank, quick question, and asked this respectfully, but was there any fear about coming forward because you're now giving these people that are saying this stuff even more for their platforms, if you will?
No.
And did you come here back to Colorado here today, I mean, for the sole purpose of doing this?
Yes, I did.
Why?
Why? Because I felt it needed to be done here at her house.
Because that's how bad it is.
Yes, it is.
I mean, are people, you know, it sounds like a lot of this is happening in the online space. I know you don't want to go too much into it, but people hide behind those names on the internet, and it sounds like that's what's kind of going on.
Yes.
Can you tell me a little bit more about that and how that's...
Basically, it's a non-stop thing. Everybody's talking about things that were not done correctly, and keep pushing the issues. It's a lot of ugly out there. A lot of ugly.
I mean, how is your family, this should be your time to grieve. You went through the court process. This should be your time to, you know, to grieve. And it sounds like you haven't even fully been able to do that very well because of everything else that's been going on.
No, we haven't. It's not that we're looking at the stuff that's on YouTube's and Facebook, and it gets sent to us.
Have you had people contact you directly, some of these things that are out there? Have they contacted the family directly?
Not personally on our, live stuff, but on computer type, your phones and stuff.
Like Facebook messages, have they tried to contact you, some of these folks?
What would you tell those people? I mean, I know some of them might watch this or post this on the internet tonight. What would you tell them? Like
I've been telling them for the longest time, just stop. Please just stop. Get on with your lives. Leave ours alone. We can't grieve. It's just a non-stop thing. They know who they are. We have a lot of YouTubers out there that are, I'll mention YouTubers, and they are backing us. But there's a lot out there that are just terrible.
You mentioned lawmakers. I mean, is there something that you would hope they can do for legislation?
Well, I hope they can do something about these, this YouTube, Facebook, or Google, whoever is involved in the Twitters, and because it's not fair to these victims that are going through this. We don't deserve it.
And you're speaking on behalf of other people who are...
I'm speaking on behalf of other people that I've read already in there, and it's not fair to us.
What has been the response from, let's say, a Facebook when you said, please help us, and flag this? What's been the response?
Nothing. Nothing.
It's been nearly a year now since this crime happened.
That's
is
correct.
This stopping your ability to, I know you can't move on, but to try and progress forward?
Yeah, because we hear it all the time. It's a ongoing thing. Like I said, there's a lot of people out there that are helping us, and they're pushing, and they're really pushing to get these people stopped. But it just seems as though YouTube I don't know what it is with them.
Knowing this is such a big case, if you could choose how your daughter's name is being kept alive right now, how would you want people online to be talking about her and your granddaughters?
Speak the truth. My daughter and my grandchildren were beautiful people. And my daughter was a very smart person, intelligent person. And she needs to be kept that way. instead of being ridiculed and talked down about.
You mentioned a little bit with the prepared statement, just thanking folks that, you know, can you speak more to that? I mean, your appreciation and gratitude.
Well, we get a lot of support from all over the world. You're talking England, Philippines, Australia. Everybody sends cards, gifts, supporting us. Don't even know us. And it's, it hits you in the heart when you see that people out there really do care and don't even know you.
Before the interrogation room, before the polygraph, before the arrest, there were signs hiding in plain sight. Signs that only become obvious when viewed through the lens of behavioral science. This is the story of how a man's psychology betrayed him long before the evidence did. If you're drawn to deep foreign, long before that quiet house became a crime scene, Chris Watts had already built a psychological profile that blended invisibility with control. On the surface, he was the kind of man people rarely scrutinized, soft-spoken, mild-mannered, reliable. The co-worker who never caused friction, the husband who appeared devoted, the father who smiled on cue in family photos. From a forensic psychology standpoint, this outward normalcy is not accidental. It is often the most effective camouflage. Chris Watts's personality showed strong traits of emotional suppression. He did not externalize stress. He absorbed it, compartmentalized it, and buried it beneath routine. Friends and co-workers described him as passive, agreeable, almost hollow. He avoided conflict not by resolving it, but by retreating inward. This avoidance pattern matters. When pressure builds in individuals who lack healthy emotional release, it does not disappear. It reroutes. In contrast, Shanann Watts was expressive, driven, and vocal. She documented her life openly, shared emotions freely, and confronted problems head-on. From a psychological lens, this created a dangerous imbalance. One partner externalized emotion, the other internalized it. Over time, that dynamic can foster silent resentment. Not explosive anger, but something colder, something more controlled. Chris did not assert dominance through aggression or intimidation. His control manifested through compliance. He allowed decisions to be made for him while quietly detaching. Forensic psychologists often describe this as passive dominance, a state where an individual appears submissive while internally reclaiming power through secrecy. By the time his behavior began to shift, it was subtle. Increased focus on self-image, physical transformation, emotional withdrawal masked as self-improvement. These changes were not inherently criminal, but they marked a psychological pivot. A man who had spent years disappearing into the background was beginning to imagine an alternate version of himself, one unburdened, one unobserved. These are not conclusions drawn after the fact. These are patterns that were forming before anyone realized they needed to look. And they raise a chilling question. When someone spends a lifetime avoiding conflict, what happens when escape no longer feels possible? If you're finding value in this deep psychological breakdown, make sure to like this video, subscribe to Shadow. As the weeks passed leading up to the disappearance, the internal fractures within Chris Watts became more visible to those trained to recognize them, though still nearly invisible to everyone else. From a forensic psychological perspective, this period is defined by cognitive dissonance, the mental strain of living two incompatible realities at once. Chris was maintaining the image of a devoted family man while emotionally severing himself from that identity entirely. His behavior showed classic signs of emotional disengagement. He became distant, less responsive, and increasingly mechanical in his interactions at home. This wasn't sudden rage or impulsivity. It was emotional shutdown. In psychology, this phase is often more dangerous than open conflict because it reflects a person who has stopped seeing others as emotionally real. Empathy doesn't disappear overnight. It erodes quietly. Chris began investing heavily in an internal fantasy life. Forensic psychologists describe this as future-oriented escape ideation. Instead of addressing problems, the individual mentally relocates to an imagined future where current obligations no longer exist. This future becomes idealized, simplified, and emotionally rewarding. The present, by contrast, starts to feel like a cage. What made this particularly alarming was Chris's lack of emotional language. He did not articulate frustration, fear, or dissatisfaction in healthy ways. Instead, he replaced emotion with physical routine. Diet, exercise, structure. Control over the body often emerges when the mind feels out of control. It creates a false sense of mastery. Digital behavior also revealed cracks, increased secrecy with his phone, a narrowing of attention toward a single external source of validation. Forensic analysts note that when someone emotionally detaches from their family and reattaches to a singular outside bond, their moral boundaries can rapidly destabilize. Loyalty becomes selective. Justification becomes easier. Importantly, none of this guaranteed violence. Most people experiencing emotional detachment do not commit crimes. But when detachment combines with conflict avoidance, identity collapse, and an obsession with starting over, the psychological risk escalates. The individual begins to see obstacles not as people, but as problems. This is the stage where empathy fades, responsibility feels negotiable, and irreversible thoughts quietly take root. Long before the crime itself, the mental groundwork was already being laid. Continue uncovering how behavior often tells the truth before words ever do. Sick level. True crime analysis like this. Take a moment to like this video, subscribe to Shadow of Deceit, and turn on notifications so you never miss a case where the truth hides behind a calm face.
See where someone tried to jimmy with a flathead screwdriver over there, and it was just like.
But if any action would have happened, any cars or anything left your house, I would
Yeah, it would have been like right in that area. It should have picked. I mean,
Oh, it'll pick up anything coming down the street this way.
you know where that tree there too?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Watch, I'll show you. There's nothing on here. We've already watched that one. But like, you'll see this car.
What security system do you have?
Like, show you this car. You can see this car starting to drive down the street.
That one.
Oh, look.
See what I'm saying? It picks up all the way down there.
He's next door.
Can we go?
I was talking about dispatcher. Yeah, be close for.
But yeah, we can pick up cars coming this way. I get anything coming this way and making this turn. So, and usually at night I pick up the cars pulling the ear trim. So, unless they pulled right here,
Yeah.
but I would have caught her walking out. Diesel. So yeah, I thought nothing.
Nothing through the rest of the day.
No, that's it.
She's pregnant as well.
How far along?
14, 15 weeks. That's why her friend said it was low blood sugar.